Tamriel, Dawn's beauty in the language of the Altmer, or Tazukan in the Dragon's tongue, is the continent upon which all the Elder Scrolls games take place. Home to many diverse races and even more conflicts, Tamriel has been host to many adventures. You've experienced Tamriel in your own way, but want to learn more about its story. Well, to get to the heart of the story, you have to go back to the beginning. Before the birth of men, the dragons ruled all of Mundus. Their word was the voice, and they spoke only for true needs, for the voice could blot out the sky and flood the land. Men were born and spread over the face of Mundus. The dragons presided over the crawling masses. Men were weak then, and had no voice. The fledgling spirits of men were strong in old times, unafraid to war with dragons and their voices. But the dragons only shouted them down and broke their hearts. Kine called on Parthenax, who pitied man. Together they taught men to use the voice. Then dragon war raged, dragon against tongue. Power is truth. The mortals call them dragons, but in their tongue they are Dove, children of fire. They have resided here on Tamriel far longer than the frail groundlings, and their immortal souls will persist long after. While the childish races squabble over their piles of rocks and dirt, the Dove hold dominion over the boundless sky. Although animalistic in appearance, they are known for their intelligence and wisdom as much as their raw, uncontrollable power. A Dove's drive for ambition and dominance is unparalleled. Dragon. The very word conjures up images of shadowed skies, hideous roaring and endless fire. Indeed, the dragons are a beautiful and terrifying race. At first encounter, an unlucky adventurer hears the dragon's bone-chilling roar that can be heard for miles around. The Dove aren't subtle creatures. Who needs to be subtle when you've got bones stronger than steel, talons the length of scimitars, and massive jaws capable of snapping a carriage in two? With all this brawn, one would think that such a creature wouldn't need much else. On the contrary, a Dova's greatest weapon is his Thuum, his voice. The Dove possess their own spoken and written language. The mortals call it the Dragon's Tongue, and it is an ancient power that goes beyond simple comprehension. Understanding a single Rot Mulag, or word of power, requires years of study. For a dragon, this comprehension is woven into their very being. Words of power can be shouted to produce magical effects. The Nords call them shouts, or Thuums. When a dragon breathes fire, ice, or wind, he is speaking in his native tongue. It is important to note that dragons make absolutely no distinction between speaking and fighting. Battles between Dove are in actuality deadly verbal debates. In the mind of a dragon, being powerful and being right are one and the same. The Dove with the loudest voice leads the race as a whole. The Dove are the immortal children of Akatosh, the dragon god of time. Thanks to this connection with their father, dragons are especially attuned to the flow of time. They do not see the world as we do. Mortals are here on Nirn for but a moment, but as children of Akatosh, the dragons have a deeper connection with the bones of Nirn, and as such, they are believed to be bound here for eternity. This concept of immortals living a mortal life can be confusing. Scholars have had the opportunity to question several Jamora who claim dragons simply were and are eternal, immortal, unchanging, and unyielding. Their souls in fact endure beyond physical death. They do not mate or breed as animals do. As such, there are no known examples of dragon eggs or dragonlings. As a matter of fact, dragons have no real gender, at least not in the mortal sense. Being directly connected to the Aedra, Dove are considered to be lesser Aedra. Granted, I would not use the word lesser to describe a dragon, at least not to his face. Are dragons immortal? Yes, but the real question is, can they be killed? There is but one who can truly defeat a Dova. In their tongue, he is Dovahkiin, Dragonborn. A true Dragonborn strikes fear into the hearts of Dove. This rare individual may have a mortal's body, but he has been born with the blood and soul of a dragon. This rare gift makes a Dovahkiin brother to all dragons. Able to use dragon shouts, the Dragonborn is the most dangerous threat a Dova can face. He can consume a slain dragon's soul and absorb its knowledge. Once a dragon's soul has been consumed, the creature is gone from this world, permanently. Know this, true Dragonborn scarcely exist, and it is rare for more than one to appear within an era. Each time a true Dovahkiin has appeared in history, it is often to rule over men. The self-proclaimed firstborn of Akatosh is believed to be the first dragon to come into existence. His name, Alduin. The precise origin of Alduin and his kin is unknown to us, but we can draw that the Dove are indigenous to the continent of Akavir, whose culture and society has been heavily influenced by these powerful beings. From Akavir, the Dove spread their wings to Tamriel. Much later, when the humans of Admora arrived in Skyrim, they bowed down and worshipped the mighty dragons. Naturally, the Dove embraced this worship without question. In their eyes, they were clearly superior to the tiny, frail, and short-lived groundlings that worshipped them. To a Dova, power equals truth, and their power over men was absolute. In exchange for their obedience, the Dove granted small amounts of power to their chosen priests. In time, the chosen dragon priest would rule over men, wielding authority equal to that of kings. The dragon priests of Skyrim ruled with an iron fist, making slaves out of the rest of the population. And as is the fate of all slaves and their masters, the population soon rebelled against them. The Dragon War was one of the bloodiest and most single-sided conflicts ever waged on Tamrielic soil. The men in ancient times were brave, but bravery alone does not slay dragons. For a time they fought the Dove, and died by the thousands. The race of men were being wiped off the face of Tamriel, and just as all hope for survival seemed to be lost, the Aedra turned their divine gaze on man, and took pity on him. The Nordic goddess Kine sought out Alduin's right hand, a Dova by the name of Paarthurnax. Kine recruited Alduin's lieutenant to deliver man from his demise. Paarthurnax taught the power of the voice to mankind. And so it was man prevailed, shouting Alduin out of this world, proving for all that their voice too was strong. With their leader Alduin banished by a group of Nord heroes, the few dragons that survived the war fled to remote places away from men. The once dominant race of immortals were no more. Yet strangely enough, the dragon cult itself survived. The remaining cultists built great dragon mounds, within them the dormant bones of the dragons. The cultists believed that one day the dragons would rise again and reward the faithful. For the rest of Tamriel, though, that day would seem to never come. With the dragons gone, men were free to forge their own destinies, and soon founded empires of their own. One such empire would dare to do the impossible and bring all of Tamriel under their banner. Their sigil of dominance, well, that's a story for another day.